Hello everyone. Today is it is Saturday, July 30th, 2022 at 5:21 a.m. in the morning. So it's half dark, half light outside. I guess, it's getting to get light. But so wow. Everything was pure quiet for at least 15 minutes. Um, where does traffic come from? Wow. Yeah, everything was pure quiet for at least 15 minutes or longer because I had my earbuds in, and I just, how when your bladder wakes you up, mostly, well, for me, just about every single morning, my bladder wakes me up. So, my sleep was so, and I had to get up and pee a few times. It's like, I don't know why, not even just the religious ones, but secular, worldly, narcissistic abusers who really don't believe in God or care about God. It's like, or they don't really acknowledge God every day and stuff. They like to be self-righteous about people cursing, like as if cursing is the only wrong thing to do. But and it's like if I tell them about my Tourette's and stuff, they'll say, "Oh, you're using that as an excuse." Well, I haven't been told that in years. Like, but they used to tell me that a lot in fake ass foster care. So there was another boy, a little boy. He's now a grown man, and his name is Jalen Arnold. And everybody's Tourette's isn't the same. So he used to, like his parents used to have a Twitter um, called Jay's Challenge or whatever, and Jalen's Challenge. And Jalen, he was so cute. He was biracial, and I felt bad for how he suffered because they say that he had Tourette's. I don't know if he had other disabilities, but he had Tourette's, and they said that his Tourette's was the worst at night and when he was sleep deprived or tired or high stress. And even my psychiatrist, Dr. Chakraborty from foster care, she even acknowledged that, when you're high stress or and I've read certain, literature too, to say that when you're high stress and stuff, that's when your Tourette's gets worse. So that fake security guards are like, you're that kind of language in this library or something like that. It's like you doggone, and me being just doggone sleep deprived and shocked at all the situation and everything. It didn't even cross my mind to let him know, well, I had an outburst because, you know, the other guy, he triggered my Tourette's. You know? So, it's like, some of y'all may have seen my Tourette's, you know, seen my Tourette's, in certain videos and stuff, whether tics or outbursts. And some people would ask me, well, why do you grimace so much? Why do you grimace so much? Or why do you blank your eyes so much? And, some people say that, no, it's not Tourette's. It's remote neural monitoring and forced speech or forced, reflexes and stuff when you're a TI. So, if they say, tics and outbursts, is um, remote neural monitoring covered up, you know, and masquerading as Tourette's or something like that, they were saying. So it's like when you have Tourette's syndrome, you have like tics, like uncontrollable facial muscle tics um, or uncontrollable movements, whether it be motor or verbal or physical or whatever, verbal tics and motor tics or something. And then there's something called simple tics and complex tics. And then they have outbursts, you know. So I was sleep deprived, and I'm sleep deprived now. So they say if you have, you know, and it's like numerous times I've gotten in trouble off and on throughout the year. Most of the time I stay, you know, inside. I try to avoid the public, you know, and then that's why I say, you know, when they try to trigger and provoke me to lash out and they trigger my Tourette's and you know, going to school, they used to, you know, try to trigger and provoke me on purpose to cause me to have a Tourette's outburst so that they can set me up to get in trouble or set me up to lash out or go off or have an outburst and stuff. And meltdowns also, because like I don't have an official diagnosis, but me being so hypersensitive, some people ask me if I have Asperger's syndrome, and I'm hypersensitive to everything like that. I heard sometimes like like I was in a mental hospital in 2010, and they had this Tourette sufferer, the second Tourette sufferer. It was a Tourette sufferer. I think she was 17 years old. Her name was Emily. She suffered Tourette's and Asperger's syndrome. But it's like, well, I don't know if she was just 17, I think. So when I had a doggone outburst, she was like, well, oh, you cursed Janet. You know, this white lady named Janet was she was a mental patient in the psych ward too, that they called the critical stability unit, which was like a mental health version of the ICU. And they sent me, and that was at UBH hospital mental hospital in Denton, Texas. Wow, I was sent there a few times. You know, I call it UB fake. And it's like they had these narcissistic, self-righteous, fake Christians who were they you know, they were self-righteous about cursing and stuff like that. But then they used to trigger and provoke me. And then I remember when fake Krusty Monique, uniquely made warrior, and Ashley Burks, I think, and look where you come from. I saw those look like strange headlights and black license plate that said like, I can't tell if that was a navy blue or black license plate that said BCR 3622. But yeah, this is not a Florida license plate though. Where the hell you come from? Excuse me. So I mean, it's like it didn't even dawn on me that when I impulsively threw the chips at the man and stuff, you know, I'm not even violent, you know, but I was days of sleep deprived and also high stressed and frustrated and stuff like that, and just was at wit's end. And so that was last September, you know, that that man triggered and provoked me, and he was he was slamming and throwing things around. He didn't throw anything at me, but he was rude to me and slamming. And the man at that cafe, rude and slamming things and throwing things around and getting frustrated with me. But as I said, cordial and talking nice and respectful towards the other customers, especially people who are rich and white, and yeah, ordering that dog whatever coffee and stuff. But I mean, you fix my sandwich the way you want me to have it, and I already told you before I do not like tomatoes, and you put it on there anyway on purpose and force me to accept it. And I said, well, I told you I don't want tomatoes. Then he get frustrated and start throwing things. So that man, he was the rude perp that was playing all kinds of psychological games. So I got a little bit of sleep, and it's like my brain feels exhausted just getting a little bit of sleep from past sleep deprivation. Like, I think it was yesterday morning I got, because they kept me up. They gave me, I got like 20 minutes of sleep. And then I don't know how many, I worked on a blog post yesterday. At the moment, my mind went blank, and oh yeah, I remember. I don't think I was able to put it on YouTube because people would have got offended. But maybe you would have saw my perspective and understand where I was coming from, or maybe you would have got offended, But the perps are offended at everything I do, so they don't count. But I'm talking about, my supporters. So, the blog post was me talking about, it was a belated post that I was supposed to have done in time for 4th of July holiday. And, talking about, well, what freedom is there to celebrate when you're deprived? And what freedom is there to celebrate when you're deprived and fighting for your life, suffering as an American targeted individual? So that's what, but I mean, it's like if I would have told that Michael Greenfield guy about my Tourette's, he would still say, oh, that's no excuse. So you saw he didn't let me explain myself in that video. He wouldn't even, with the other stuff I was trying to say. And I was so, like, blinded by fear and shocked at the moment, and didn't even cross my mind to explain to him that, well, I responded the way I responded. I have a condition called Tourette's syndrome, But some people are saying that Tourette's and sometimes even OCD and anxiety disorders is a cover-up for part of the remote neural monitoring. And I came across a guy, he had videos, and he had his OCD and Tourette's, and I think he had Asperger's and stuff too. It sounded so similar to what I'm going through, And I remember, I think it was the day before, the 6 men had rough handled me and put me in a seclusion room and tortured me for hours. They tortured me for hours in the mental hospital. Well, the day before, it was a white guy. He threatened to sue, and he suffered Tourette's. And I heard that when he was a white guy and he had a Tourette's outburst, and they were triggering, provoking, and bullying, harassing, and laughing at him, mocking, making fun of him, the staff in the mental hospital. And this was before, I mean, they put me in the mental health, So it's like, so when it's like when the so-called, it wasn't even at the critical stability unit. It was in the regular psych ward unit, But I was trying to say that Tony H, Uniquely Made Warrior, and Ashley Burks did like a live stream a while back, and I think Ashley was talking to, I guess this might have been when Ashley was still targeted before she sold out, and it was definitely before Monique sold out, or maybe it wasn't, or maybe it was after, I don't know. But they were explaining trying to say that they have people in the mental hospital that masquerade as perps. I mean, they are, I'm sorry, I meant to say they are perps masquerading as mental patients. And it's like, I remember, you know, they had perps who masquerading as mental patients who were sent to antagonize and provoke me and set, even I had it happen to me. They antagonize and provoke me and set me up to be forced to stay longer. And no matter what, they'll keep me the whole 18 days until my insurance runs out. So it's like, so I mean, it's a really scary place to go to. And some people say that even though it's temporary, a couple of weeks, some people say the mental hospital is worse and more traumatic than prison. It shouldn't have to be that way, you know. So they say help, but I mean they say it's help, but like the mental hospital and stuff, it's more like punishment and not healing. It's punishment and not healing. I mean, what therapy is it? Is just to sit down, confined, and and nobody cares about no doggone art therapy or music therapy. Nobody really cares. I mean, and then another thing that makes it so punishing is they take away all your possessions, and sometimes your stuff, the staff will steal your stuff. The staff will steal your stuff, and you don't, especially your money. They will steal your stuff, and especially your money. Because at UBH, they stole $30 worth of quarters from me. And it's like CCHR is like a controlled opposition front to manipulate you to join their fake cult. They tell the truth about psychiatry and how destructive it is, but it's a cult, and that's an alternative form of mind control. So, but before I found out the truth about them being a cult, I used to blindly and unknowingly, promote CCHR, but they used to treat me like, after a while, they treated me like they didn't want me there, or like they thought I was a nuisance, or they probably were all perps. But they used to act eager to let everybody join, but they used to, ignore me and kind of blow me off and stuff. But I was call myself being fascinated and learning the truth about how evil psychiatry and the mental health system is, and then not realizing that I used to go to that psychiatry and industry of death museum. There was a point in time I was going just about it. It was free, so there was a point in time I was going every single day, and I, try to gather all the literature and stuff like that. And then come to find out they're a cult too. So I stopped support, and they treated me like I wasn't welcome there no more. So, but they didn't ban me, but they just were kind of ignoring me and stuff. And I try to tell them about when I got raped by the Freemason. They victim blamed me and said that I put myself in a position and made myself even target. I mean, make myself, easy target. And so the lady, I forgot her name, and she said, well, oh, all of us make ourselves vulnerable in the moment we walk out of our doors and stuff. And she tried to say, oh, you put yourself in a position just by leaving your house or whatever. And I'm like, why and how? So then they try to send me to this place in Compton, California. I think it was Compton, where they had like a fake anti-mental health kind of holistic clinic or something that they sent me to. And then they sent me over to Planned Parenthood, and Planned Parenthood sent me over to the Santa Monica Rape Treatment Center. and they exploited and abused psychologically and mentally. They exploited and abused me, and the police was about to lock me up and throw me in jail. But then the detective was about to lock me up and throw me in jail because they thought I was lying about the rape and stuff. And it's like I don't even find people 45 years old and I was 28. I don't believe in or like to date or have sex with, or people almost old enough to be my dad. If I was raped by someone 17 years older than me, I don't know. I wanted to, I wouldn't want to be raped by somebody near my age, but I don't go chasing after people way older than me or way younger than me. I prefer to date or be with somebody that's my age bracket, but I was sleep deprived. I didn't get really any sleep at all the night before I got raped. And I was just minding my business, going home from the beach. And the guy, he found me at the train station at the Purple Line, the Derwin O's guy that's a Freemason. And, he started off with treating me like I was slow and retarded with no sense, and then trying to flirt at me and stuff. Because I was mentally in my mind reminiscing about how when the Purple Line train station at Wilshire Western, that's where I met him at. And he approached me. And I don't remember exactly what he said, but he treated me like I was retarded and slow with no common sense or whatever, and then acted like he wanted to, he acted like he wanted to try to get fresh with me and stuff. And then I didn't even know he secretly followed me onto the Blue Line train. But I didn't even know until after we got off the Blue Line train, and he heard and quickly snuck into the elevator, and don't even know me, and then started to try to roll on my ass and stuff, and I felt uncomfortable. And then he tried to lie, and he tried to lie and try to make it like as if he's like, oh, where you going? I said, well, I'm taking him. I didn't know. I was freaking sleep deprived and just very tired. And so I was saying, I was taking the 1:15 bus, to go home and stuff. And it was still daylight. And so he said, oh, well, I'm going that way too. And so he waited at the bus stop like as if, he waited at the bus stop like as if he's really going that direction. So then I noticed his Freemason ring, and I confronted him about it. He's like, shh. He's like, shh, girl, shh, shh. And so then he's like, oh, he tried to make it like the Freemason ring was harmless. He's like, we see God, we see the light, So after he raped me, and I was too scared to even report it, and then traumatized because even before I found out the truth about targeting and stuff, I would try my best not to call the police, and I would avoid the police like the plague, because when I was raped, and I heard that if you a female targeted individual being raped a lot, I heard it's part of the human trafficking, and people don't even freaking believe you, just like they don't believe us being targeted. So yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry that I'm mentally all over the place, but I I think I did talk about what happened with being raped by the Freemason and stuff, and I almost got arrested. They let him off and stuff, but that guy with the Tourette's in the mental hospital, I heard that when he threatened to sue them, they let him run free. They discharged him from the hospital for threatening to sue them. And people said the only reason why they let him free because he was white, and because they're black staff, and they were afraid of a white guy threatening them, and that's why they let him off free. But it's like, they bullied me and abused me and rough handled 6 football player sized men have rough handled me in a mental hospital. A week after my suicide attempt in 2010, it was I think Friday, October 15th, 2010, when I had the suicide attempt and the overdose. And then, on the 22nd was when the 6 men rough handled me in a mental hospital. But they had 2 young guys younger than me rough handled me in the mental hospital in 2007. And they put you in a seclusion room. When they and I remember reading this the something the hidden side of psychiatry, and that in the mental hospital I heard that the staff get paid extra to provoke the patient, to rile you up and provoke you to anger and lash out on purpose so that they get paid bonuses for putting a cocktail in you and putting you in a seclusion room. If you read a PDF file called The Hidden Side of Psychiatry by Dr. Gary Null, I even have it in the PDF section of my Truth DVD for Christians in my in one of the Truth DVD for Christians in the description box. In the description box of almost all my videos in the description box. And the foster mom, of course, she used to trigger my Tourette's on purpose. And, use that to play psych games and give false proof that I'm crazy and stuff like that. And the people at school, and actually, some people would have said I was a good kid, but people need to just stop fucking with me. So, if people wanted to be narcissistic and self-righteous with condemning me for cursing, but you sit there and trigger my Tourette's and trigger me to have an outburst, trigger me to go off. But then when a narcissistic abuser lashes out on me for me asking, why you treating me mean or what did I do wrong, and then they lash out on me and curse me out and even put their hands on me, and they get away with it. And they don't even have Tourette's. They don't even have a condition. And then they'll say that the attacks that they made on me was very well deserved. So every perp is a narcissistic abuser, and every narcissistic abuser is a gang stalking perp. And not all perps follow you everywhere. Some of them may not follow you everywhere, but they'll just act rude. Act rude for no reason, like the librarian. Or, single you out and just act weird towards you, So, me being on the streets and stuff, there's no way I can go to the beach. Like, after I eat breakfast, it's like, let's see, my phone battery is at 66%. After I eat breakfast, I won't have much of any money at all. So I have to go and beg and panhandle again. And I don't think I can even get to go to the beach today. But I don't know if it's gonna rain today or not. So so now I have to find somewhere to go and remind myself that library's off limits. I can't go there.